Hey everyone, welcome to a new series of the Amma Show, Ask Master Anything. So today we've decided to put up this show because some of you might be knowing that Master is writing a new book, The Universal Law of Justice, Winning the Human Game. And we've received a lot of questions regarding purpose and existence and why are we here, what is the meaning of life, are we in a simulation, and a lot of more questions. So we decided on behalf of you to take these questions on board and ask them for you. So aside me, we have here today Kier.
Hello there.
And Josh.
Namaste.
And we're going to dive deep in straight away.
And also I'm here.
Yes, of course.
Namaste.
Yes, we'll be asking the question. Okay, so let's dive deep.
So actually, I'm really excited about this new show because I know a lot of the stuff that you've been writing for this book. I've been trying to listen in as much as I can and hear as much because a lot of this stuff I've never seen you share on YouTube already. So what how do you describe the whole book? What's the aim?
The aim is to share positivity. The aim is to literally what we say with I Am Creator is for people to understand they can create their destiny. But beyond that is that they are creator. Once they understand they are creator, meaning they are what people refer to as God or universe or whatever it is, everything's one. When they realize that there's so much depth to that, they will start being able to live in more power instead of being a victim to everything that happens around them. So it is the deepest book I've ever written. It's the most truth exposed book I've ever written. And yeah, it's exciting.
So why? Why now?
Well, it was one of the commands that was given from when I was out in the Himalayan mountains, and it's like we are in this game, in this physical character. When we entered, now it's almost like, imagine you're playing a game and then it starts at the beginning of the game, it tells you a bit of the story, and then it says, okay, this is your first mission. So I talk about how when I went into the Himalayas training with Grandmaster Akshar, that it was a rebirth and it was a new energy coming in to play the game. It's almost like imagine Josh is playing GTA or something, and then he's the character, right? Then what happens is he's had enough. So he's had enough of the game, so he stops the game. He's like, I'm not playing anymore. I'm bored of this game now. I'm done with the game, right? Although he didn't complete the game, which most people never complete a game, right? You ever played you play computer games before?
Yeah.
Have you out of all the computer games you played, how many have you actually completed? In terms of percentage?
A few. I mean,
on the lower end, right? Majority is you will play but not complete.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, most of the games take a lot of effort and time to put
complete,
in. So
right?
yeah.
So that goes probably the same to everybody who's listening to the show as well. So basically, and some people just don't want to complete. It's not that you must complete. So when Eric Ho didn't complete the game, then it's like, okay, cool. So he dropped the game, finished. Now what next? Now Kia comes along and sees the game and says, hey, this is an interesting game. I'm going to give it a shot. So it's almost like that rebirth and going out there, because at that time I had lost any motivation or any purpose to want to do anything. And I'm done with the game. Then what happened is a new energy comes in and says, hey, there's this huge mission, you got to do this, and you have the motivation to take this character on. You see, it's that you have the motivation to complete the game. He didn't, so you go and pick up the same character and complete the game. So,
but can that happen to anybody, or do you have to be at a certain level or certain way in life for that to happen?
Well, because it's much more complex than let's say just entering into the character of GTA. Because you said, can it happen to anyone? It depends for what mission. It depends for what purpose. Let's say, for example, this vessel had to be used. This character had to be used. It's skilled in communication. It's skilled in confidence. It's skilled in leadership. It's skilled in wealth building. Like, this is what this character has accumulated. You know, it's built up in the book we call it the tool belt. It's got like the ultimate tool belt. You know, so it can do so much out there. Now, with the right energy, it can use this to change the world. And then comes the question of why change the world? You know, it's.
I feel like a big question is like, so then are you saying that this whole world is just a game?
Yeah, yeah. I think how I explained it recently is I said I made this Instagram post the other day. I don't know if you guys seen it. I said that when we sleep, we wake up. It's just that when we come back, we forget, right? And in the same sense, it's like, let's say, for example, you're playing a computer game, and then let's say the battery dies out. So do you play computer games, right? When you play a computer game, you really indulge in the game, right? You really like when people shoot you and stuff, you're like, you know, you get angry, you get annoyed, right? You want to go and find them, right? So you're really in that character. You're so much in that character that, I mean, so many people, they play games, they are lost in, like, literally they'll wake themselves up at 3 a.m. just to connect with people on the other side of the world playing inside that game, right? Have you ever seen Ready Player One?
Yeah.
Brilliant film.
That is a very good movie to kind of explain. That is a very conscious movie, though. So it's like that. Now, if you're playing it, you're really indulging it, and then what happens is, boom, imagine your battery ran out, or imagine power cut out. Then what will happen? Then you become Josh again. Like, you're back in here, yeah. Oh. Okay, I need to reply emails or whatever you need to do, right? You become Josh again. But you weren't. For the moment you were playing the game, you were not Josh. You were not at all. You didn't deal with your stuff. You weren't troubled by your problems in life. You get what I'm saying? You were someone else. Now power cuts off. Now you come out and you're like, back to reality. Now, what happens at night? At night, some power cuts out. Like, even you can try and, no, I'm gonna stay awake. But after some time, you're so tired, bam, you knock out. When you knock out, where do you go? Well, when you knock out, it's like, game finished for now. Needs to recharge. So where are you? You come out. You're outside. You see, and then now you go back to reality once more. So it's like out one shell and out again.
I mean, to me, it sounds like you're in the process of developing this, and you've developed quite a bit. Because the first time you mentioned it was at, I think it was Manifesting Miracles, and at that point it was just a case of, I mean, the basic concept is you go through life, and when you die, you go back to the beginning, you start again, and then you're basically trying to level up every time, right?
Yeah. Only if you don't complete the game, you go back again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I told you, like, before I even met you, I'd had the same idea about life. It's funny how, I remember that day you said it, I just went straight to you after you finished for the break, and I was like, that's what I believe, totally.
And that's why he's attracted into this space.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like you've really developed the whole thing into something so much deeper now. And yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
There's so much more.
When you said explained the other day that you said to me that when you sleep, most people enter another game. Then it's only some people who actually come out of it. and actually are the person who's controlling. So which could you explain that a bit more?
This is more complex than, let's say, playing computer game, because we are also playing. Part of the game is playing multiple games at the same time. So sometimes you come out of one game, you come into the other game. You come out of a game, you into another game. But at the same time, we are also. Okay, that part was not correct. It's like this. Let's say right now we are not playing multiple games at the same time, but we are playing
Parallel realities.
parallel realities in the same game. So
all possibilities at the same time.
all possibilities at the same time, in the sense that yesterday I put on my coat, my black coat. Inside I found an SD card. The SD card was 8 gigabyte. I think it's 15 megabytes per second. Like I can't use it, not for our cameras anyway. 15 megabytes per second and 8 gigabyte. I asked her, I said, "Is this yours?" She said, "No." And I was like, "It's nobody's. It's inside my coat. Who put it there?" Right? And 8 gigabyte. Why on earth would anybody use 8 gigabyte? Why is it in my coat that I wear all the time, but I just found it in my coat? Right? Have you guys ever had a moment like that before? Where you for sure, no, I didn't put it there. Or you for sure you left something somewhere. You for sure you left it there. You go and it's not there. And the weird thing is, you find it in somewhere where you have no recollection of you putting it there at all. And it couldn't have been anybody else. So this in quantum physics we call quantum jumping. So in those moments we are skipping. It's like a glitch in the system. Have you ever watched Wreck-It Ralph?
Yeah.
You see the glitch, right? And it flicks into different dimensions. So again, a lot of truth in that movie as well. But we are playing multiple realities in this one game. But when we power cut out, we go and we play another game a lot of the time, and we can go and play another game. So we can play many games.
So we're skipping through different dimensions each time.
Yeah, we can call it that way.
So is that what dreams are? A different game?
Dreams is different game, yes.
What about so that glitch? so that glitch. Would you say that it's just a glitch, or would you say that it's a reason? Like, I don't know. You check that SD card and it's got when you watch it, you see some sort of message. Would you say it's I feel like everything happens for a reason. Like there's no coincidence.
Yeah.
So would you say that glitch was meant to show you something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Has it shown you something?
But in the same because there is some. It's like every glitch in life, every hiccup in life. It's the same.
So
it's
like
it's
inserting.
It's the higher power. The not just the game designer, not just the programmer. It's like the higher power who has the ability to say, "Hey, this is the glitch master," and the glitch master is able to make things appear like a coincidence that we can only just call glitch. You see, humans are stupid. I keep saying humans are stupid, but because in the sense that, I mean, if we look at reality, a lot humans think they think they're in control, but then the higher power makes you feel like you're in control, but then they are in control. You know, you are a puppet, but they make you believe that you're in control. In human psychology, we can do that with people, you know? We can make people feel like they're making the decision as long as we know this is NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, right? If we say things, people think, "Oh, I just made the decision." Well, not really. I kind of guided for that.
Yeah.
You know? So the person who's really in power is behind the scenes. And so humans are only that way, where they just follow something that seems the simplest reason. It's like, "Hey, what happens when you sleep?" Dream. What is dream? Just something happens on the mind, you know? It's like, "Hey, what about deja vu?" Deja vu, just, I don't know, sometimes you just get a feeling that it's the same thing again. You just give names deja vu, you give name dream, you give name coincidence, but...
So is that element of the human...
Lucky. What does even luck mean, you know? How does luck work? You know?
Is that element of the human then? That's not them, right? Because their energy comes from the higher consciousness, right? The higher creator. So them thinking that's just their mind, or... is that like a different type of energy, a human, compared to?
No, it's extension of. But if you designed a game, if you designed a computer game, a lot of that computer game that you design would reflect who you are really. Like it's only anything that happens within you that you can think of would be designed into the game, right? You can't. It has to be a part of you. You will connect very deeply with every character in that game because you created the game. It's a part of you.
But you say so that a higher energy is in control of whatever you think or whatever you do. But like one person is only one out of the so many billion that's on Earth. Why would they care about? Like what's the reason to? So they are in control of every single person out of all the billion people in the world.
Are you asking if there's like a plan?
Yeah, like
It
like one person would feel like why would he or she or care about my life and what I'm doing.
We can talk about game in the sense that if you design a game, do you care what all the characters do? Do you care what all the outcomes do? Do you care what each level the missions do? Do you care that it evolves next year, that there's version 2 and version 3? You care about every element. Do you care that that guy, his hand glitches and it doesn't move properly? You care. You care about every character. If you designed the game and then the car drives past and then for some reason that there's a store on the side which is kind of not so relevant to the story, but it's a part of the, like, it needs to look like it's working. And that's that butcher, whenever he cuts the meat actually doesn't break. It's just, it's not done properly. Do you care about that? Of course you care about it. You care about every single part of the game because you designed it.
I feel that, like, you just reminded me of like, you know how I create a lot of landing pages here. So to me, when I create a landing page, I see like every single line,
Detail,
like every single button, like even the color outside of it. I know why I did it. But then someone who just looks at it would just see a button or just see something. So
so you're saying why would the creator care about every single little part of the thing that he designed? Of course he cares.
But is it not a lot of work?
Is it not a lot of work? You should ask Josh then. Is it not a lot of work to look at the detail? It is.
Because
But he
everybody's
cares, he
moving at the
created
same time, so fast, thinking, doing things,
I guess it's
and
hard
that's
to
all
Well,
pre-planned.
Yeah, but but I think that question is very good. So, how powerful is this spirit to how big the game they can play? If you take the average person and you give them my daily life, they'll be like, oh my God, how can you deal with all this? Do you get what I'm saying? Is that not too much to deal with? Well, not really, because that my spirit is ready for that. In the same sense, now you're talking about that spirit is way more complex than, what we can handle.
What's that film with Emily Blunt and that other guy?
oh, that one, yeah.
You know that one. Matt Damon.
Martian?
And they're like they're this couple that are trying to get together, yet the higher power won't let them. You ever seen that? No?
Sounds interesting.
No, it's good. But it's, obviously not useful right now if no one else has seen it.
They've probably seen it.
Yeah, well, my question's gone then if no one understands. Okay, so basically I was thinking, if this, say for example, your ride that you're taking right now, is this your last ride, considering that you have...
It isn't actually, no.
So how do you complete the game?
I'm not in this lifetime.
Because you succeeded, you've got to the higher consciousness. You've become a spiritual master. I mean, how far can you take it?
The choice needs to happen of complete human detachment. Every human need in a total detachment. And so right now I have been given a mission, right, from one of the coordinators out there. And and that mission is do something huge, and that the size of it is evolutionary. So it is for, let's say, basically, when you get a game and it needs an upgrade, take someone like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs upgraded this game. Like human game, it changed because of Steve Jobs. It did. Like how people interact, how things, all the different. If you were to play, imagine this game that you could actually play on a computer console, and you're playing before Steve Jobs, and you're playing after Steve Jobs. What's in the game is so much more exciting these days. You get what I'm saying? You're like zapping music over from phone to phone and everything, right? So all these things. So I have a mission to need to complete that. Now, whether I complete that in this lifetime or not is now down to how strong this spirit is building up. Obviously, my intent is to complete it. If it is not yet complete, then I must come back again to complete until I do complete. So that thing is not yet justified. It's not determined.
Do you
But
mean?
then,
Sorry.
but then my question would be like, once you do complete, and then everything starts again, you're not going to be there. Thousands of lives are not going to be changed by you. Do you know what I mean? Because you've completed the game, so you'd be resting in heaven on a summit or something.
The Bahamas or something.
Yeah.
And
So thousands of lives that you've been changing throughout the previous games will now be disrupted because you won't be there, or will you be replaced by something similar?
No, it's evolve. They will. They are not just using me. It's not like I'm the only vessel they're using to build this thing. I'll give you a very good example. I don't know if you've watched Wild Wild Country. Have you watched Wild Wild Country?
Bits.
It's about a spiritual leader, Osho, back in the day, maybe 20 years ago or something like that. Basically, he built a whole conscious land out in California, out in Oregon, right? And there was a lot of chaos happened. At the same time, I mean, he spread a lot of positivity. He brought people together, but a lot of chaos happened, and there was fighting between the average human and these woo-woo people who were hugging each other on the streets and everything, which they didn't like. So basically, they got booted off the land. The government got involved. It was a whole thing. It was a whole big crime scene, right? It was huge. It was all over the news. Now, so then the question will come and say, hey, what did Osho do then? I mean, right now his books go out to millions of people around the world, and he's just got his ashrams and everything going on, and he's still got so many students out there. So we can say, oh, but all that chaos happened, then he died. So did he complete? Did he not? And what's the point in the millions of lives he impacted? But we know this story now. From knowing this story, we evolve from there. We're building a land. We know the mistakes that were made. Based on that, we go from there. It's like, okay, go back to game setting. 3 of you are programmers. You program a piece of coding, it's so close, not quite there. Josh adds a few lines, bam, it's done. Did you contribute? Yes, of course you did. You were part of it. And it had to be that way.
So did that answer my question? I'm not sure.
What was his question?
I don't even remember.
It was something about, would it make a difference
If you complete the game.
Yeah.
Because basically, in my mind, it works like this: Big Bang, end of the universe, goes
Big Bang
back
and then
to
what?
Big Bang. So Big Bang,
Yeah.
go through time to the end of the universe,
End of
and then
universe.
and then we rewind to Big Bang, and then it's like that, and it goes, and you're playing the game again and again.
Okay.
Not what you were thinking.
No. But in some context, I guess that's true as well, because that time is also in existence right now. Also, we put it this way: like if you take I don't know if there is a newest Mario game, and then you take Super Mario 1 or Mario 1, whatever that was. There can be there is some people who play classic games right now. They can be playing it in this moment right now, and somebody can play the newest version. It's both happening at the same time. So in that sense, I guess Big Bang can still be happening because that was part of the game.
Good. So,
But do you know what I mean by that? It's like we have the start of your life, and then it goes forward, and then it ends, and so you rewind back to the beginning, and then on the next time, you're leveling up each time, because that was my
Which part
idea of
levels
it.
up?
So you go through life each time, because that's when I spoke about the deja vus. Like, I think I'm an old soul because I've at some points in my life, I've had so many deja vus at certain points, and the further I go through my life, I have less and less. So it's like I'm going through my life, bang, coming back,
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
leveling
right,
up.
I get it.
Like
So
doing
not,
something
actually,
different.
so not actually
Yeah.
the physical Big Bang.
No, yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But
Yes,
that's
that
the
is
point.
that is what's happening. Yes. So basically, yeah, we are reliving basically.
Yeah, and each time we're leveling up.
Yeah. So it's exactly the same as playing a game.
Yeah.
so you come back to the same body, same life.
No.
Oh, different.
Oh, okay, because that was my idea of it. I thought we
Because
were on
what
the same
Kier's saying
page.
is like because he's had so many deja vus at the beginning, he's lived that bit so many times.
Yeah.
But then because he thinks that he's had less further on, he's lived that bit less time, so he hasn't made it that far.
Yeah, so for example, it's like when I was, because I remember specifically when I was 22 odd, I was like, I had so many deja vus in that year alone.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, but then throughout my life, they're getting less and less to the point where I'm getting like once in a while,
Yeah.
and so I'm making different choices
Yeah.
on each ride,
That's right.
which are taking me further and further.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, so that is true.
For one specific vehicle.
If we look at vehicle, then right, because so in this moment we are in multiple time and space at the same time. There's two parts to this. The first part is to recognize that right now you are also 10 years younger and 10 years older or 50 years older at this moment, because this is multi-dimensional being at this moment in time. When you go to complete, then it opens up another dimension, which you are complete, meaning like physical body deteriorates and you
Is that winning?
no.
Oh.
In that, when you come back, then you can come back and go into another character. In the same sense as a game, where all of you can be playing the same character right now, but on different parts of the journey. Okay? So that's one scenario. Second scenario is that when you're done with a character, you come back and you say, hey, you know what, I'm going to try with a different character. So both things are happening also. So it is true that, but there's another part to it, which is selecting different character.
So when you say different characters, like someone else,
Yeah.
like I could be Josh next time.
It's a good ride.
It's actually not whether you can or not depends on which character you can play in which environment, born under what parents, is determined by how you play this game. In this game, we are like almost like collecting coins. In the book, I write it calling it game points. So everybody's to accumulate game points. The more game points you accumulate, the more room for negotiation you have in terms of what game you want to play next and who you want to be and what character you want to be. I think actually
Like unlocking characters.
games today is even more, it reflects it even more like that. You know, people are purchasing things. I know man wanted to purchase some coins the other day on Super Mario, but it's like, but it's like,
It's getting serious.
like people, like, let's say for example, if we were to play Mario Kart right now, right, the person with the most money would win. Really, I'm talking about physical money.
Mm. Mm.
Because you need to play maybe 50 games to level up and build enough coins to select the nicer car and purchase the nicer car, which is faster. If I have more money than you, I can swipe my credit card and I can
Get the fastest
I
car.
can get the fastest car, and I'll beat
Yeah.
you guys all the time. And I can select what's Yoshi, the
Yoshi.
dinosaur. I can
Yeah,
select
yeah.
them.
He's a
You
good
can't
one.
you can't select them right now. So the more game points you accumulate, the more choices you have and room for negotiation.
But is that not cheating?
Cheating? How's that cheating?
Because you haven't actually fulfilled the exercises you had to do to get to that point. You just did
Or
a
built your spirit.
speed hack
Yeah.
because
Oh no.
You just got
You
it.
completed the exercises for that to happen.
how?
It,
Because you're
it's
just
not-
buying
it's
it.
not-
It's not like you're.
No, but you're buying it with the coins that you accumulated through
Mm.
all your different soul journeys.
So you're talking about being good, or are you talking about actual money?
Yeah. So it's not actual money.
It's just so it's kind of like karma, and
Yeah,
it's like
it's karma is one part of what we will call game point. Yeah,
Mm.
it's one part of it because there's so many different things. Good deeds is part of karma. Love, kindness is part of karma.
So it's
how
along-
strong your vessel is, that will also be part of it. So how your capabilities that you've built up, your strengths, your intelligence, that type of stuff, your knowledge, that will also build up as part of game points. So there's so many different aspects to one game point, for example. Yeah.
so it's like reincarnation, but with extra parts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
on
I guess so.
average, like, I know this is probably a big question for like, because there's so many people, but if it's too like difficult to answer, could you answer for just like, let's say someone just watching this show?
Mm.
So on average, how many times, because I'm trying to get a ballpark figure
Ballpark figure.
of like how many times has someone reincarnated into this game? Like, is it the ballpark figure of like 10 to 20? Is it 300 to 1,000?
That's a good question because I feel like I'm an old soul.
Yeah.
Like I feel like with the amount of deja vu's I was having, especially that year, I think
Yeah.
I've been through this game a fair few times.
Or is it like 50,000, or is it not comprehensible?
Yeah, it's hundreds and thousands. Yeah, something like that.
Hundreds and thousands.
Yeah, something like
Damn.
that.
So
A lot
um,
of times.
For
so
someone, so for
And,
someone,
and they will never really complete this. Yeah.
so for someone like who's maybe on a conscious level, who's watching this show, or would you say the average person, or
So the more conscious you are, most likely the more times you've played the game.
okay.
Yeah. So that will be the distinguish of the hundreds or thousands, I think. Yeah.
But you said they will never complete the game.
Do people never complete the
You
game?
just said they will never complete the game.
Well, most people will never complete the game. Yes.
So they just get stuck in the game.
For
They just-
eternity, just going round and round.
yeah. It's a. Well. How do you feel? How do you feel Mario feels right now?
Knackered.
Like same track again.
He's been running for so long, and
Used by so many people.
only once a year will the game designer might think of, hey, let's add something to it. You know, it's like, oh my god, it's something new. You know, it's like, but most of the time he's been running. He's been running since he was extremely pixelated. He was running, and now he's still running. You know, so that's how it is. But he doesn't know.
Well,
He doesn't know, so he's not affected by the running. You see, Mario's not complaining. He's very happily running because that's his job. That's what he needs to do. So when they don't know, it's not a problem. You're just a character inside inside
Yeah, but
the game.
now we do know.
and I'm going to a different game. Now, so when I was younger though, I used to have this like fear of like
Being trapped in the game.
no, like you know how
It's like it
you
came
know,
true.
You know, like in this game, okay, you know that okay, I'll probably live 80, 100, 120, however many years, right?
160.
160, 200, however good you eat, eat you 5 a day. But then, so that's in that's
We'll
in
get you to 160.
that's in this game. But then in my head, it was like, okay, so once that game's over, then there's like eternity kind of thing. Like you're out of this, and it's almost like there is no time. So one of my fears was like, what happens for eternity. Like you just there's like it's almost like there's no end. It's just
Well,
forever.
you're just in limbo or something.
Yeah, for like, but in limbo you could hack, but then in limbo forever. Like, I know time isn't technically.
But I think you guys are looking at it very depressing now because because it's like a person who plays a game only wishes for a new game to be launched. They can't wait for the next game to be launched again. They can't wait to play a game again. You get what I'm saying? It's like a gamer coming out of playing game will be in limbo because it's like, need to deal with my everyday life now. When the game launches again, they're on it. They're like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Let's give this one a shot. So, and then what will happen? You continue to do that. Every time, like throughout the whole of eternity, you continue to do that. You will never lose that excitement because games are, the upgrade is happening. The new algorithms are happening. It's funky. It's learn new things. The new maps and everything. Yeah, all of that is happening.
So is it like, is there a way to level up quicker?
Level up quicker, meaning?
Meaning, you go through each time and then it's like, so again, in my mind, you're getting better each time. So is there a way to skip a few lives and go from no coins to 3 coins or something?
Yeah. So inside the book, we have that section which is called the cheat codes.
Mm-hmm.
So by using cheat codes,
I've always loved cheat codes.
yeah. So you hack the system, but a lot of I think the thing is like this though, because we are writing a book for humans. Duh. Right? Because we are writing a book for humans, the cheat codes, a lot of it, I would say maybe 50% of it is probably not so evolutionary. It's common sense. You get what I'm saying? It's like let's talk about collecting coins, for example. It's common sense. Then don't spend money on stupid things. You get what I'm saying? Is like so about 50% of it is that. Maybe the other 50%, depending on people's consciousness level, then it gets a little bit more mystical or out there where people are like, I never knew you could do it like that, you know? So maybe 50-50 is not that exciting. It'll make sense. It'll be like, oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like, OMG, I didn't know that was reality, you know?
So, like during your whole trip and afterwards, would you say that Eric Ho has left and a new spirit has come in?
I think people get confused by the word spirit.
Soul? Energy?
Yeah, that's what I mean. People get confused by the word spirit, soul. I think people are seeing one human leave and one human enter, like a human with very high opacity or something, you know, like a translucent type of, transparent type of human, right? So that's how they see us as soul or something like that. So it doesn't have to be exiting in one full physical that way and one entering in a, hey, I'm going in now, bam. Some energies have shifted, new energies have come in. The combination of it is what is right now here.
Okay, so it didn't entirely go.
It did not say goodbye, bam, gone. So it was a mix of energies can just mix, you know.
So where did the other parts go?
Out there, wherever it needs to go.
I'm a sun lounger. Yeah.
So did they go
Just
in?
chill, he made it.
Did they go into another body?
If that, depending on game points, then depends on what is next for that one. Yeah.
So is that how you hear things about like souls merging and stuff like that, or splitting? like that.
Yeah. Actually, when people talk about twin flamers already, that you got divine feminine, divine masculine. But at the same time, in Chinese, actually, when we talk about souls and spirits, we say, actually, I don't even know how to translate it into English. Basically, we talk about samwen, tsepak, meaning three parts of something, and then 7 parts of another thing makes up one soul.
It's starting to sound a little Harry Potterish. No?
Yeah. Well, all these is real anyway.
Yeah.
The movies are all real. So there's so many parts to one soul.
So they took out the parts that was no longer needed and put in parts that to replace it with.
We can say that, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's been funny for me, like learning everything as I go, as I've been here. But yeah, I mean that's how I understood it, because I've been trying to work you out for a while now.
It's all coming out now.
And that's
Trying to work you out for a while.
that's how I understood it. It's like first I was thinking, right,
He's
so
gone.
Eric Ho has left the building. And then I think Rebecca explained it to me slightly differently, that your consciousness, you were still Eric Ho, but it was your consciousness that was just higher. Right. Sort of. I'm getting there.
No. I think it's any of these concepts will be difficult to explain. We are using a human language with our limitations of language and words to describe something that is energy. Like, there's too many ways to interpret it. In the same sense, you can ask me, you say, what does love mean to you? And you ask Rebecca, what does love mean to you? It could be slightly different, the answer. Which one is right? We're probably all right, but we're just trying to convey what that thing actually is, you know?
Mhm.
It's very difficult. Even when we're talking about game here, human game, these are analogies. We start the book talking about you are in a courtroom with a judge. There's the prosecutor, there's the defendant. And on those both ends, they are saying, okay, calculating your game points from the last, okay, judge hits the table and says, okay, you are sentenced for this. Then they will carry your energy to a outside room and then enter into a different dimension, enter into a game.
So that's at the beginning.
That
It's not the end.
That is at the beginning and the end, because that's
Uh-huh.
how we continue, right? Every time we complete a game, we go to be sentenced. Now, but that's the best description I could possibly give to a human, to give them some sort of analogy that they can relate to make sense of it. It's not as if it's a courtroom. Or if it was a courtroom, that courtroom probably looks very different to how you would see a courtroom, you know? So I think we try to convey something that's beyond human.
So
But we are human and we're limited to human communication. So
is ending the game different to every person? Like, for you to end your game, you have to complete certain things. But
are we
would
talking about
Josh have
ending
to
the game or completing the game?
completing? So would Josh have to do different things to finish than you, for example? Or does everyone need to do the same thing
It's
to complete?
it's same in the sense that he can be a DJ first and then go from a DJ to being something else to something else, but as long as he understands the part. This is the most valuable part of the book, actually, what your question is, because I am highlighting the exact things that every human needs to do to be able to complete the game. For example, things like not be faced by challenges, be more solution focused, do good deeds out there, make a contribution to society, which is a contribution to the game, become a good slave. Now, I know that sounds extremely wrong to some people, but if you connect with the higher, then you can see the map. Once you see the map, you know what you need to do to complete the game. So most people don't even know the map. I mean, the only difference, and we were talking about this last night during the call, the only difference between you usually playing a game, sometimes when you play a game, you go in and then it'll say, okay, here's the map, and this is the goal, and you need to get there, and you need to, I don't know, kill the bad guy or something, right? When you entered in this game, who showed you any map? Like nobody said, okay, so welcome. Right, now you're a baby. Now this is what you need to complete. Right? Nobody showed you a map. You have no idea. Why is it that every single person that sat here and every single person who's listening to this show right now, right, has once in their lifetime asked the question, what's the purpose? Why am I here? Why do we do what we do? Why do they always ask that question? Everybody, for sure, in their lifetime has asked that question. It's because you were never given the map. So once you know how to access the map, which we will cover inside the book, how do you access the map? How do you find the map? When you find the map, when you see the map, then you know what the mission is. Then you very happily complete the mission in knowing that they are using you to complete the mission. And if you do that well, you complete the game.
What's the reason behind not being able to know or see what's gonna happen? Like, for example, sometimes I'm thinking like, just tell me what's gonna happen, what needs to happen, and I'll do it. But
how would it be a game in existence if you could see all that? Okay, let's go back to GTA, right? GTA, to complete GTA, you probably, I don't know what you need to race that person and go past these, and then, I don't know, don't let the police catch you or something, right? And then you get to the end, right? And you complete. Now imagine the police that's in the game, right? Imagine the police is just like, one day he's chasing you. Then suddenly he's like, oh, we all got downloads. Hey, we all got downloads. Hey, we should all complete the game. Stop chasing that guy. This is wasting time. We shouldn't do this job. Why we're slaving away? Then the whole game, from the butcher who's standing on the side on that stall, to the police, to the lady who's sweeping the floor, because she's just a part of something that needs to be there for the visual, all say, hey, did you guys all get the memo? And then they all go to complete the game.
Okay.
What happens with the game? What happens to the game? Imagine next person who enters in the game.
What's happened?
There's nothing you. There's nothing you.
Okay, I guess I don't mean it in that way.
So the game finishes.
I guess not all aspects of it, but I don't know. Like, for example, I'm sure most people have ever been in a point in their life where they're like on a crossroad, like which way should you go, and then it would be nice to just know like which one, what's the purpose of having certain things in your life, whether that's supposed to be there, is that's just the way it has to be, or whether it could be different. And then you will be able to make a clearer decision
So that is the challenge in the game. What is a game without challenges? It's not a game. That is the challenge in the game. It's like okay, you drive the car, turn left or right. Why won't anybody tell me? Okay, I'm not moving. I'm just gonna sit here. It's like, what? What's wrong with you? But I don't know what's gonna happen if I go down that route. Okay, then sit there. So a lot of people in life, they do that, right? They sit there. That's the equivalent of playing a game. You get to a crossroad and you're like, I'll stay here. It's like, okay, you stay there. I'm going to continue. I'm going to try, right? Okay. Then I go that way. Oh, there's police after me. Okay, cool. You figured it out. Next time, don't do that. Next time, go that way.
So would you say that whichever decision you make is not you making the decision?
Okay. So this, again, there's twofold to this. You are making the decision within the decisions that are set. In a game, if they've paved and designed that route, and they've designed if you hit this lady, she will hit you back, then that will happen. So you have a choice within what they've designed. If you say, okay, I'm not going to go that way, I'm going to run backwards, you can't. Because the game designer never did, there's nothing, he never created that part. That outcome was never created.
So you never have that thought to do that? It's just not there.
It's not there. Yeah. So you can't do it. So there's
Is that the same as you can't return time? You can't change what's happened.
but you can.
This is so crazy.
But you can. But yes, for people to believe that you can't. Yes, so that part will be in cheat code.
Okay.
Because it's like, but that's true. But what we said is true because the average person cannot change time. They cannot go back. They cannot change what's happened before, which is true. So, this is the equivalent now. You're in a game. Most people can only run forwards. You search on a site, you find a cheat code. You're like, oh my god, this opens something up. You type in the code, boom, you can walk backwards. You get what I'm saying? And it's a whole new world. So it's like, yeah.
When I was younger, I used to have this thing whereby whenever there was like a decision or something, I would feel like I would know what was going to happen. But you would say, oh, maybe it's coincidence. But it kept happening. Where I kept knowing. And so much so that I remember being in the back of my dad's car. I don't know, I was probably 6 or something. And then almost praying for it to stop. Because I was it was getting boring. I could seeing what's going to happen. And now I'm I wish I could have that. I'll pray for it back.
You manifested it.
Yeah. So how do you find...
Hang on a minute, sorry. What do you put that down to?
Superpowers?
At 6?
Don't know.
No, because you were not your conditioning, your programming wasn't strong enough. So what you remember from past life, your abilities and everything, all kids have it. Babies have it. A baby can stare into open space and start laughing for no reason, but there is a reason because it sees what you don't see and it knows what you don't know. You know, a baby can start looking one way and just start crying for no reason. There's a reason behind everything. Why would a baby start crying for no reason? You know, so the consciousness level is extremely high when you just enter. You're fresh off the ship. You know, it's like you just finished the last game. It's like, I know how this game works. You know, so when you're a baby, you come into this world and you're like, oh my god, this is so cool. It's like, wow, this is a new character. This is really cool, right? So you're really excited. And then what happens is then, boom, conditioning starts, programming. And then suddenly you lose all of that because your mind is too accumulated by all the new programming.
Is there a way to raise a baby without conditioning them?
It's not good.
You have to
It's
go
not
through
good.
the conditioning, right?
It's not good.
Why?
Part of the game design is for that needs to happen. When it doesn't happen,
Human condition, right?
yeah, but you have to. Like, if somebody goes to a restaurant and they chew really loud with their mouth open, they stand on the chair while eating, they use their hands eating, just everything like this and and the things they don't like, they'll throw behind them, they will be kicked out. They will be arrested. If they continue to be free spirit in that sense, and they don't know the rules of the game, not just arrested, then psych wards, then all the different labels will come. What are the different labels? The different labels of ADHD, of autism, of every label, right? Every label will be given dyslexia. Every label will be given. Then, if it's extreme case like that, and they're not conditioned to how to play the game, what will happen? Okay, cool. The game designer will look at it and say, wait there a second, this one's getting out of hand right now. We need it to follow the rules. So they will come in, they will channel a frequency down to some sort of authority figure, vessel, which will need to come in to say, she needs to go and see a doctor. Then the channel will come down to say the doctor needs to know how to label this. Okay, this is a problem. You need to take this medication. Take 5 pills a day, and then it will help calm her. Once that pill is in, boom, you now know how to conform to society again, to be part of the game. So it's better not to fight the system. There's a lot of people. It's getting out of hand. Right now, it's getting out of hand. You see a lot of people, different conspiracy theories, and we need to bring down the government. It's all bad, and this virus and everything, and it's not real, and they're trying to do this to us, trying to do that. it's not smart. It's not smart. You cannot bring down something that is bigger than you. And you cannot just bring down for the sake of yes, people need to be free. How chaotic would it be if everybody was free? And some people will look at it and say, wait there a second, but so you're for this whole thing? You're saying they should control you? I don't think people are at the consciousness level to understand if things were not in control, then things are out of control. It's chaotic. So we can only take it like this. The message of the book is from a conscious, is to allow people to gain more consciousness. When we win the game, we should not fight the game. There are rules in every game. Every game we play, there's rules. Even the game of being in a relationship, there's rules. There's things you can do and you can't do. And if you do, then it will screw things up, you know? You say you're a free spirit. No, you're not. Nobody's free spirit, right? What would happen if everybody's free spirit? Everybody killing everybody around, you know? It doesn't make sense. You know, you just go walk down the street and then just rip somebody's clothes off, you know? It's just, you cannot do that. There has to be rules. So this book is more to do with saying, hey, build yourself to a consciousness level where you understand how to kind of abide by the rules, but on a very conscious level. You can see through the rules. You can accept the rules, and you can play the funnest, most extravagant game ever and enjoy the whole ride.
Do you think people are more happier being super conscious about everything or not knowing about it at all?
Well, they say ignorance is bliss, don't it?
It's the part which is not so blissful of that transition is the transition period. Mm-hmm. That's the part that's not. Everybody's right now, majority of people is happily being slaves. They don't know they're a slave to the system. They don't know that, and we were talking about this yesterday as well. Let's give the okay. I'll reveal a little bit more of the book. So, in the book, we talk about 2 modes you can play the game in. One is called survival mode, and one is called thrive mode. Survival mode is like where if you imagine a game, everything would be gray. It's like when Windows don't shut down properly and you're in safe mode. Have you ever had that before? It's just like you can't do anything, right? It's really boring, right? So that's survival mode, which is the majority of people in this world. They're in survival mode, right? Second mode is thrive mode. Let's talk a little bit about survival mode. So survival mode looks a little bit like this. You enter into the game, you get conditioned that these are your parameters. This is what somebody in survival mode looks like. You guys tell me, what is needed for survival as a human? Food, shelter,
money,
food, shelter. Right. Let's not go to money yet. Food, shelter, relationships. This is just Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's just food and shelter, water, warmth. You know, things like that, right? This is like basic, right? All of that requires what? Requires money, right? So your survival requires money. Okay, now let's go to the next part of it. What do you need to do to get money? You need to work in a job. Okay, let's link it now. To get a job, you need to get the qualifications. To get the qualifications, you need to go through all the education in school, right? So in survival mode, you will do everything for survival, which determines, okay, you enter into the game. Okay, let's go to school. Go to school till what age? 16, 17. After 16, 17, what do you need to do? You're not qualified for any job, really. You need to continue. When you continue, the game is set that to continue, the people in survival mode, we need to keep as slave. I think slave is a horrible word because people might have some negative emotions towards slavery. Let's just say puppet. Maybe puppet is more cute, right? So being used as puppets is saying, okay, how do we use them more as puppets? Okay, cool. you know what the first thing is? We will allow you to feel like you have freedom of choice and everything like that. You vote, you do all this, but you're not. You don't really have freedom of choice. They decide, right? so, so then what happens is they will say, okay, cool. Now, what you should do, and common media, common society will program you to understand, you need to go to university. Student loans is the easiest loan anyone can get. Easiest. Easiest. You don't. Do you need good credit? Not really. Just anybody can pretty much get a student loan, right? Why is that so? It's because from the age of 18, 19, 20, I want to put you in debt first. The game. I'm not saying me. I'm saying the game designer. If I put you in debt first, what power do I have? I have power over you. I'm literally determining that you are going to slave away in a job for the next 5, 10, some people 15, 20 years before you even think about paying off a student. You get what I'm saying? You're stuck. So you're in debt. The moment you start the game, I'm going to put you in debt. Because that debt is like, here you go. I'm going to clamp these on. Work for me.
Good thing I never finished school.
Yeah. Work hard. So then what happens is then you come to the understanding that, okay, cool. After that amount of qualification, most people, even if they thought to do something different, most people will want to do something that's related to what they were educated in. Otherwise, they'll think they wasted their money.
And time.
It's a psychology. So you're 24, 25. Then it's like, okay, I must get a job in this thing. A job, how does it pay? Well, you get by, right? So a job will pay for you to get by for how long? To pay off that debt? Society will also condition 20s, early 20s, things like that, 20, mid-20s, whatever. You should get married and you should have kids, you should start a family. When you get married and you have kids, this is the average survival programming, right? When you get married and you have kids, what usually happens? In early 20s, everyone's in debt. Your wife is in debt, you're in debt, you're both in debt. Your wife gets pregnant, now she can't even work. Now you're going to be even more in debt, right? Because now you need to cover for everyone and you're going to be more in debt. Now, okay, this is normal society. I'm not saying everybody does it, but this is normal society. So now one's working, one can try to work, but, don't really have the time because there's a kid. Even if they have the time, now they need to pay for a nanny because, they're in debt. Okay. Now in your job is set. The programming is set for what? Everybody's these payroll. Payroll is for what? Payroll is for maybe something needs to go for pension, isn't it? Imagine the moment you start a job already, I need to be on the payroll because I get pay slip. When I get pay slip, then I have pension. You're already planning at the beginning of your job for the end of your life that hopefully at the end of your life, you'll be able to enjoy the remainder years of your life by not needing to worry about a job.
Go on holiday when you're 90.
Yeah. So now he wants to cry now. So now it's like, okay, cool. Now you're 50, 60. Or those who are lucky, they get to retire early. Wow, 50, 60, you get to retire early. Now, hopefully you'll be able to cash out some of the money that you've accumulated stuck in that job for the majority of your life. When you cash out, you think, okay, I'm free. Not really that free because you get paid that amount to hopefully you will outlive. Hopefully your money will last as long as you can live, right? So some people are in this catch-21 phase where they're kind of like, I don't even know if I should live more. Because if I live longer, I ain't got the coins to live that long, you see. So now they're in a different dilemma. That is survival mode, which is preset and preconditioned in the programming, how people should be programmed to complete that mission. Which is extremely important. Like I said, you cannot play GTA without the butcher who's hitting the meat every single day for the rest of their life on that side part. Otherwise, there would be no game. That's survival mode. So that's just survival mode. The next part is thrive mode, which is the purpose of the book is to show people how to switch from survival mode into thrive mode. But that is only the first section of the book, because the book is split into 3 sections. The first is level 1, is how to break free, like Prison Break, right? The second level is how to connect with the outside layer to understand the game fully. The third level is completing the game. Get the mission, complete the game. So that the whole book will be structured that way. So what we explained there was only level 1 of the book, the first
Wow.
part. Yeah.
So you as you said, like the people are needed, like the butcher, the whoever is needed. So would you say that the people listening to the show are the ones who are supposed to switch to Thrive?
Okay, that is a very good question, because everybody who's listening to this show right now, there's a reason why they're listening to this show. It will not be the whole population of the world. It will only be a small population of the world. Even when this book launches, there's going to be a reasoning to how a person's guided to picking up that book. And there will be a whole sequence of events that guides them there. That guidance will not be from themselves. That guidance will be a feeling. Oh, I don't know why. I just feel like, I don't know. My brother's flying today. He was supposed to take a taxi. I'm going to take him to the airport. Just because of something so simple like that leads to, when I'm at the airport, I'm at W.H. Smith and I see, oh, there's a book. That looks interesting. Then I purchase it just because I decided. If I hadn't decided, then I wouldn't. But that decision was not made from you because it was a feeling. And the feeling is energy and motion. That is a channel of frequency from something that is beyond you.
Is that something else? Choosing that person because their vessel is ready to do something else?
You see? So this answers to her question too, is because that's what I'm saying. People who are listening to this, there's a part of your vessel which is ready, and the universe wants you to build right now to know how to thrive in this game. There is a purpose of the butcher, and there is a purpose of the road sweep person, right? There's a purpose, a very important purpose. They're doing a huge mission because to sweep the floor for 20 years and be part of that programming is a huge job. And without them, the streets will not be clean. You see, so they're doing they're serving a huge purpose. But the bigger purposes happen when vessel is strong enough. Okay, let's do this. We'll reveal a little bit of the remainder of the book. Why would they select you to have this intelligence or know how to thrive? If right now you are an unconscious puppet, they can only use you unconsciously. If they can use you consciously, which is the final level, you will do a lot more without any resistance at all. Right now, you can still try some resistance, human resistance. I feel it, but nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it a different way. You can resist. When you are a channel to the universe, it's like saying, I know you're using me. I know what you need to get done in this game. I know that it's almost like right now it's September time. It's the iPhone convention time where they launch every September. They'll launch the new iPhones and stuff. It's almost like that. The Great Awakening is happening right now with all the virus lockdown and everything that's happening, energy shifting. So right now for me, it's like I know what you need to get done because you got a very limited amount of time and you gotta get this. You got to get the next version of this game set out already, right? Otherwise, people will get bored of the game and nobody's going to play the game in that way anymore. So they're like, okay, so you're rushing for that. That's okay. Tell me, what do you need me to do to help evolve the game? Like, it's almost like human game number 5, for example, right? So you need to launch that version now. It's okay. I'll play a good puppet. Tell me what needs to be done. Oh, that needs to be done. Okay, cool. I'll work my ass off for you. I'll make it happen. Like that.
Is that the reason why they say that sometimes it's hard for conscious people to speak to their family members or to get across to the nearest people around them because maybe they weren't programmed in such a way or ready yet to understand all these things? Because you're trying to
we should not try to change anybody. We when you become very aware, trying to change people is a transition time. Oh my God, it's so true. Then you try to tell your friends and family, they will think you've gone cuckoo, and it just doesn't work, right? So, higher level of consciousness is then saying,
Just let them be.
I know what's happening, and I also know how to recognize who's ready and who's not. The ones that are ready, follow me. This is the way. Let's do it. The ones that aren't ready, it's okay. Continue sweeping the floor. You're doing a good job.
So what about someone like Steve Jobs, who was, I assume, being used, but being used unconsciously, right? But he was used for a great effect. That's what I'm assuming. He was used unconsciously. What about for him, if he was aware that actually it would be a lot easier, maybe I could get an even greater iPhone by listening consciously? What would it be for someone like him to switch from being unconscious to conscious? Would you say it's just the typical practices, or is there something else that you can?
Actually, he was. So there was a very high level of consciousness there also, because he went for a lot of meditation things and a lot of spiritual practices. So there was a lot of consciousness there. Is it like, let's say, highest level or knowing everything? Well, not really to that point. And was he being used? He was half being used and half conscious about being used, which is is fine. It played the role. It played the role extremely well. Game points, when it came to Judgment Day, I'm talking about the big Judgment Day, because every day we're being judged because we're accumulating points. Every moment we are. But when it came to Judgment Day, a lot of things cancelled out, because game points also include things like love and connection, also includes like kindness to people, also helping people and things like that. So he still won a lot of game points because of the amount of impact he made in this human existence. But there was a few things that a few challenges were not complete. They were to do with relationship challenges and human communication challenges, things like that. So the way he's sentenced now will have to sentence to try and complete those parts only. It will not be to do with accumulating wealth or evolutionized games and things like that, because he aced that part, So now he'll play a different game. It's like, learn how to be a loving tree or something, It's like, okay, cool, next challenge. So he'll play that game now. Yeah.
But so you can like see the future, kind of, right?
What does that mean?
And you know how to win the game. So then I'm sure you should be able to just get there easily, right? Because before like half an hour ago, you said if you don't complete it this time, you have to come back. But you can see what's going to happen and you know how to win it. So then there's no reason to why you would not be able to complete it, right?
It will be by choice.
Oh, I think you told me that one time.
Yeah,
before.
it will only be by choice if it is not completed.
Because of the human attachment.
Yeah, imagine if there's. Have you ever got to the end of a movie before and think, it's over? Hey, that's it. It's almost like that, right? It's kind of like, what if
at the end of
what
Game of
if
Thrones,
levels what if there's 8 levels and level 7 you really enjoyed level 7. You want to play a level 7 over and over again. It's kind of like, that was fun level, So it depends on that. So yes, you can see how to complete it, but sometimes completing it gives you this empty feeling of, you see? So soul, character, everything needs to be ready at that time to complete, to complete. But in saying that, the completion of it has already been done also. So in the same way that you say can foresee the future, I've seen the completion of this one. So that's already done in one dimension. We are only here speaking right now in this moment in one dimension. There is another dimension that we've completed this conversation. If we look very deep right now, if everybody just focus right now in this moment, you can instantly get a deja vu that we've been here before. And I've said these exact words with the exact pauses.
That's really
You can feel
freaky.
it, no? Did you not feel it there?
Yeah.
Mm.
So how was that created? It's because right there, I just did a shift along with everybody. It's very powerful.
What do you mean a shift? Where do we go?
Where do we go?
I just moved a bit.
Oh,
I just moved. I just carried you through a moment.
Mm.
You all felt it.
Yeah.
So we're all in a different dimension now.
We just moved.
Mhm.
That's quantum jumping. So we just moved that together, and that's how now you're like looking at it, and you're looking at me at the same time as feeling like we have just done this already. We had this conversation already. He said these words already. It's almost like this show was concluded already. You all know
this
that
was
now.
weird.
Yeah, but it's so when one so energy can become very powerful, and when it understands these shifts, we can. This is traveling. Yeah.
What's the benefit of like shifting to that moment there?
I was just trying to prove a point.
Oh,
Find random SD cards.
So do you then just, because you've seen the completion, you've seen the outcome, so do you not like the outcome?
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
So you're gonna go there.
We'll go there. Yeah.
But do you like, so you see the outcome of multiple parallel realities. So you just choose whichever one you like, or you don't choose. You choose whichever has to be.
I can choose within my game points. So within the good deeds I've done, within how many game points I've accumulated, will determine on what type of negotiation, where I can go, and what I can do. So I would like to. So this whole mission would be to complete this, then to go and look at it from an outer perspective. To become part of the creator circle, like that, like on their circle.
That's really cool.
Yeah, on their circle is slightly. It's nice, right? It's like you'd rather be in the game than be out of the game and watch the game and look at the game and say, hey.
So
I
can
was
you
once
be
there.
at both places at the same time? Can you be part of the creator circle while being part of the game?
Yes, you can. When you're outside, you see, this is the thing. When you are outside, you can choose whenever you want to go inside. When you're inside, you cannot choose to go outside unless you know how to go outside.
Mm.
That's the fun of it.
Mm.
It's like we give this analogy to a gamer who's addicted to gaming. They're stuck in it.
Mm.
They're stuck in that reality that they think is reality. When we stop that addiction, we come out, we sometimes can see, oh my God, I can't believe I was wasting my life away like that. You can look at it like that. But you have the choice to say, let's go and play one now.
Mm.
The person who's stuck in there, very hard to say, come out of it.
So is that
I wonder
like,
sorry. I wonder if it's like this, because I've always had this idea that when you die, you're in heaven, whatever, you sit down, there's a TV in front of you, and you basically look at your life through the TV. I wonder if it's like that, and then you get to a point and you're like, that's where I should have changed something. And then you go back. Sorry, that was completely off tangent there, but...
Yeah, you can.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. I didn't like that part.
so that specific
So,
moment?
so if you die in one reality, you could still be alive in another one.
What do you mean?
Because he says if
But this
he
is
goes
just-
and then he sees, oh, I should have changed this, and
Because
I
you
want to
come
go
out.
back. Yeah, but he wants to go
Like-
back
like-
into the same person. You mean
Like
Yeah, yeah.
Like
in
like
that moment? But if he goes, he's gone in this moment, right? So how can you go back in this
no,
moment?
It depends how you complete.
But then isn't
It-
there multiple
it-
yous going at the same time at different times?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
is there?
yeah. There is, but it depends how you complete. So
Mm. You mean how you go?
yeah, if you complete, how you go, you cannot always have the power to see. Let's say a sensitive topic is something like suicide.
Yeah. Hmm.
If somebody exit, it's not a good way to exit. You exit that way, you come back in the same problem. So there's almost like no point. Imagine this. Imagine you're like stuck in a thing and then you take your life away. You come back in the same problem, needing to, because you didn't complete that challenge. You didn't complete that mission. You have to complete it. You see. So it's tougher. You see. So it's not a good way to do it. But if you complete the game, then you exit into higher realm with the creators on their panel. Then you can say, rewind, let's rewind. I like that part. Okay, let's go have some fun. It's different, you see.
It's like spirit guides and stuff like that, or energies that are watching. Is that the same thing? Is that similar, or is that different? Or would you say
spirit guides is human?
Oh, really?
Spirit guides is a human game.
Okay.
Outside, we will not call spirit guides. It's within the human game. It's an interpretation of higher energy inside a human game. So it's still human.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that a human can talk about is human.
So is the only way to get to that panel by either dying at the end of your life and then
No, dying at end of life doesn't, because dying at end of life, they'll just sentence you into next game if you didn't complete.
So you have to find a way to get there while you're alive.
So read the book.
Read the book.
So would you say so would you say that for people who maybe died earlier, that there's more chance that they've completed the game, or is that different?
There's a big reason to why they would need a certain vessel to reprogram something. A lot of very special, talented people, vessels, they will take the soul at that time because it needs it for greater purpose. A lot of talents, a lot of special, strong, powerful spirits are taken away.
Do they
at
get a
young
choice, or do they get a choice like you can continue now, or you can come with me and for a bigger purpose?
No, not really. No.
They just take them.
They'll just take them.
Oh.
And they take them. Humans will be very sad about it. When they are out, they will not be sad because they see,
Why they've been taken.
whoa. It's like, this is so cool. Thank you so much for choosing me. Like, it's like that. Yeah.
Well, I guess we can figure out what that world will be like on another show.
The next episode.
The
We'll be
next
here forever,
episode.
huh? This is, winning the human game cannot be won in an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you all so much for this conversation. I think all of our minds are blown, and I think those of the listeners are blown as well. There's a lot of things that just need to make sense for a little bit. But yeah, thank you all for this session, and thank you guys back wherever you are for listening and for joining us together actually here as well. We've enjoyed it. I don't know if you guys enjoyed it.
Definitely.
Other than that, if you enjoyed this episode as well, then make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit the like button, and comment below with whatever you thought of everything that we've discussed. If you have any questions, if you have other awakening moments from this conversation, we'd love to read that from your stories. And make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it, because then you'll get notified if we're doing another one of these shows. Other than that, I think that's it for today.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for joining, and thank you guys for watching and listening to us.
Namaste.
Namaste. See you next time.